So hello everyone, this is your Krishna from Womentoday YouTube channel. So in this channel, we have been interviewing many women entrepreneurs and working women across different cities in India. We are traveling to different cities in India and we are doing offline interviews. And also we are doing online interviews across different countries in the world and also different cities in India. So today's our guest is from Lucknow. Her name is Vishakha Chatterjee. So I welcome you, Vishakha Chatterjee ma'am, to this wonderful Women Today YouTube channel. So she is a very brave animal rescuer in Lucknow, and she has given life to many animals over there. So please kindly introduce about yourself to the audience who are watching this interview right now, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Well, I've been actually living around animals since I was a kid. My father was a big time animal lover. So we've had pets and various kind of species at home, and we used to feed and make home for the streeties always. So this has always been in my blood. But then gradually, when we grow up, we have our own priorities. We move out, we start working. So while working, I was still rescuing and fostering, and I did join certain groups, animal welfare groups. But then gradually, back in 2012, my mother got cancer. She thankfully survived. But then, because of that, I took a long leave from work, and rather, I resigned from work and shifted back to my hometown. And once my mother completely healed, because I resigned, I had now full time, which I decided to dedicate it for animals. So it started with rescues and then to hospitals and then landed to shelter.
Tell me, ma'am, at what point of time in your life did you decide that you wanted to make your profession as an animal rescuer? So what inspired you to be in this kind of journey, ma'am?
Well, inspiration was always my father because he was the one who was very passionate about animals, and he was the one who taught us to care for the animals and feed them. But then, as I said, I got involved full time when I say in 2012 um, because there were too much of suffering around and not too many people working around that time. So there were limited people on field working on for animals, doing rescues, getting them to hospitals. So that's how it started. And then once you start, it keeps on going up.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. So till now, what are the kinds of animals that you have rescued, ma'am?
I majorly work on small animals. So I do have some large animals too, but then I primarily work on dogs, cats, monkeys, goats, birds in particular, which are not caged, like hens or ducks and turkeys, which can live in a shelter open. And I do have a couple of cows too, but then I don't prefer cows a lot because I work single-handedly, and the staff issue is always very prominent. And I've got severe back issues, so I can't work with large animals because cannot lift them up. So that's the reason I don't work a lot with large animals. Otherwise, primarily it's all kind of small animals.
That's a great deed you're doing to the animal welfare, ma'am. So also tell me, how do you actually fund your animal rescue and sanctuary efforts? Because being an animal rescuer, you are already putting a lot of efforts in saving the lives of animals. But the thing is that primarily we as a human need some revenue in order to run our family, in order to run our service. So tell us, how do you actually fund your animal rescues, ma'am?
It's actually the other way around. I use all my family income to run my shelter because we don't get any grants from government. We don't get any fixed grant from any private industry or company or organization. So what I do is primarily I raise for the ration, from my friends and known people or who have visited me and who know what kind of work I do. I raise that on monthly basis. And sometimes when there are cases which needs hospitalization, I raise for those too via Instagram pages or Facebook pages. Otherwise, the rest of the expenses are paid by my family expenses, which is right now my husband.
Yeah, great, ma'am. So also tell us what is the process of animal rehabilitation? What can we expect in that, ma'am? What is the process from the starting to the ending, ma'am?
Different animals need different kind of rehabilitation. For example, we have dogs of various kinds. Now, let's assume we have a dog who is injured or who is temporarily sick. and the dog is completely healed after 2, 3, 4, 5 months of treatment, we prefer, dropping that dog off back to its location, because that is its known location, and the dogs are always happy when they live in freedom. But then it depends again, if the dogs are very aggressive and we take those dogs who we pick up because of their aggression, or if it's obviously handicapped, or if it's very old, those animals live with us permanently. Now, this was dogs. Cats we prefer to get adopted, and thankfully in India we still have Indie cats getting adopted very soon. But then still there are some cases wherein cats do not get adopted. They stay with us. Monkeys rehabilitation is an entirely different scenario altogether, because we do get infant, we do get babies who are completely wild. But then say if a baby who is about 2, 3 days old who comes to us, and we rear them to the adulthood or till they start eating. I This is how I work. I have a particular nursery group in which I have a mother. Like, she's not a mother, but then she's more like, Jagat Mata of all. So she accepts all those babies. Once they start eating, I hand them over to her and she rears them to adulthood. And she teaches the rest of the monkey tasks to them. And then I slowly introduce and make a group of different other monkeys who are of the same age or come under their hierarchy, depending on their, who's the alpha, the next. And they accept that monkey accordingly. And then we release them, the ones who can be released. So this is how the rehabilitation thing works. And then the same thing is like works with the handicapped or blind. They stay with us permanently,
Yeah, great,
and
ma'am.
some choose not to go also. So we have to bring them back when they don't want to go.
I do understand that living in a place where we will be taken care of. So that's why most of the pets, animals are returning back to you. So tell us, ma'am, there is a lot
Yes.
of behavioral issues and past traumas, not only for dogs, but also for many animals over there. So tell us, how do you actually control these kind of behavioral issues, and how do you actually heal the trauma that is faced during the past by many animals that you have rescued, ma'am?
Um, like human, every just a second. Sorry.
Okay, 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 ma'am.
Okay. Like every human, every animal is different. But then there are certain traits what we have to understand. Every animal needs their own space. We have to understand what is their problem and what is their issue, and accordingly we act on them. For example, there are certain dogs who get very aggressive even though when they're pets. There are certain reasons behind that. They're always tired, let's say. They don't get proper feeds when they feel hungry or when their nutrients are not getting fulfilled. Now, there is another thing in dogs which makes them very aggressive is, the heat cycle when they can smell pheromones and they're not able to mate and they become very aggressive. So, spaying and neutering is that one option which can be closed there immediately. Otherwise, honestly, handling them is very easy. Just give them a little time, understand what is their issue. They gradually accept you. Animals are way kinder than humans, so they give you that space. If you give them that space and love, you get it back from them. It might take a little while, but then eventually it is there.
Yeah, that's really a great understanding about animals, ma'am. And also, what kind of medical treatments are you giving to the kind of animals that you rescue, ma'am? What are the kind of process that you have a separate medical team with you, or is it like you take to a normal Blue Cross service, or is it take to a private or government hospital like that? So tell us about the process that involves the medical history of animals, ma'am.
See, we do not have Blue Cross here, but then we do have private hospitals and private doctors who are very, very helpful, who give us, quite many major discounts. So, depending on case, if it's a critical case, they would have to, of course, admit the case at the hospital. If it can be taken care at the shelter itself in my treatment area, I do have certified paravets who are literally government certified paravets and a team of helpers. and we take a prescription from our regular doctors, and they advise us what medicines are to be followed. Since these are treated and they have worked under these particular doctors, the animals are treated here, the ones who do not need admissions. Otherwise, the ones who need hospitalizations do go to hospitals. But then we do arrange sterilization camps and such things uh, do simultaneously. The vets do visit our place and perform it when needed.
So great, ma'am. So also tell us, if we want to adopt any kind of animals from you, what is the adoption process like for animals that is residing in your sanctuary now?
Adoption process is a little crucial, and it is actually, see, what happens is the animal which is going up for adoption has come from a already traumatic situation. So we have to ensure that it does not happen again, or the animal goes in right hand. So the procedure what we follow is pre-house check, ensuring that everybody in the house is happy, is an animal lover, would accept the baby as their own. Then we follow documentation, which is adoption form, including Aadhaar, and we also include a court paper, which includes saying that you would not abandon the animal, you would not relocate it, you would not sell it. If you do not want it, say for God forbidden in future, you will have to return the baby to us. And that's it. And then we keep in touch with their doctors, ask them to keep on sending photos, videos, if needed, a post house check too.
Great, ma'am. So you are just taking care of the animals at the utmost level. So tell us, how do you actually match which kind of animals should be made to be adopted to which kind of humans over there? Like certain people like dogs to get adopted, and certain people like cats, certain people like monkeys. So I used to, I mean, when during my childhood days, I used to go to school, and in that school, they used to have a lot of animals over there, like starting from pet animals like dogs, cats, ducks, birds, and mainly there used to be a small cage over there. Inside there will be a monkey, and people will be having a lot of things over there. But the thing is that I usually think that okay, this monkey is inside the cage, and it would have gone through a lot of trauma. So
Exactly.
the thing is that people always love animals and they just adopt it, but they don't care for it at the utmost level. Of course they care for it, but still more they have to be taken care of. So how do you actually type of detect the persons that they will be very suitable only for this kind of animals? So how do you actually kind of decide it now?
See, primarily, monkeys are wild animals. They don't fall under pet animals category at all. They are protected under Wildlife Protection Act too. Rhesus macaque was recently excluded from it, but then again, it varies on state to state and depends on the wildlife warden of the state. So, keeping monkeys as pets is illegal. Keeping them captive, keeping them for entertainment purposes is it's all illegal thing. So it's a big no when it comes to any monkey, because I know what happens in future, because end of the day they are wild. After 2 years, 3 years, they would start behaving wild. They would act how a monkey should be acting, and that is what a human can't tolerate. And they would end of the day abandon the animal at the, you know, wherever they feel they are comfortable, which is actually very saddening, because once you rear them along with you as a human being, and they have not been with other monkeys, they don't have survival instincts, and they learn it very, very hard. You die, so it's a very difficult thing. For other animals, like for dogs or cats, dog animals are dog loving humans are different, and cat loving humans are different. Like, you can figure it out. The second priority is that I find out that if a person is looking for a dog, let's say, and is not available all the time, is out of the town, or out for 6 7 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours, and a dog would need, initially in particular, that love and care, at least spend good 2 3 hours with you. Cats are comparatively more independent beings. So if you keep a pair of cats with you, which is, you can probably keep even in a one room set, and they're happy in that space, And since these are two babies, they'll happy in themselves. Wherein does not happen with dogs. You'll have to take them out on walks. They would need your time. They're more like human babies, human toddlers. So they need attention from people. So if people have a very difficult work time, we advise them to adopt cats because it's low maintenance, less time. They're more independent. And in dogs, there are certain kinds, like depending on how big is the dog. If it's a large dog, it needs a bigger space, of course. I would never recommend it to keep it in a small flat, especially dogs like large breeds, Saint Bernards, Rottweilers. They need space, good exercise. So depending on what kind of situation they have, what kind of house they have, we decide accordingly.
Yeah, that's great, ma'am. So, because whatever you told was absolutely right. Because during my school days, I told that we used to have some monkeys in the cage. That was during my LKG, pre-KG, that kind of time. I was a kid. I was a baby over there. So it was like more than 28 years back. So at that before like 3 decades back, before like 28 years back, they used to keep these monkeys just to make sure that okay, that school children will be having a nice face in the mind. But the thing is that it was actually not good for the monkeys to be living in a cage like that.
Actually,
Yeah, and after that,
actually.
because of good animal rescuers like you, they came and they saw that okay, this is not good for animals, so we can keep dogs, cats. But the thing is that wild animals like monkeys should not be there. And they have before like when I came to around like first standard, like they took over the monkey back to the forest and it lived happily ever after that. So tell us, ma'am, also at the same time, once an animal is getting adopted from by a family, so how do you actually you as an animal rescuer make sure that you give support to the animals even after it is adopted by a particular family? Do you also follow the family, or is it like you just give the animals to the
Yes.
family, or you just leave it?
No, no. We that is what we honestly keep it mandate that the adopter has to keep in touch with us. Would have to keep on sending videos and proper updates. They are always open to discuss anything what they're not understanding. Let's say the animal is not eating or puking, or they're not passing stool. So they're welcome to discuss anything. We refer them to doctors we know who are good, experienced, and would handle the animal very carefully. So that is how we help their doctors.
Okay, ma'am. So, to my knowledge, there is a lot of animals that you like, but you being an animal rescuer, may I know which animal is your favorite, ma'am?
This is actually one question which people who know me or follow my page would tell me blindly. It's actually the monkeys. I hold a very special place in my heart for them.
Yeah, I have gone through your Instagram page. There is a lot of monkeys that you have rescued. So now I got the answer that okay, so this is the reason why you just adopt. Or not only the thing is that monkeys, I think they face a lot of struggles in this life. It's not because of okay, you like it, you rescue monkeys. The thing is that monkeys are suffering a lot. I do understand that because stray
A
dogs,
lot, a lot.
yeah, stray dogs actually.
If you notice these days when we were young, we could see monkeys and it was very exciting. Oh, there's a monkey. Oh, that
Yes.
was very exciting because you don't see them very often. Now, because of the deforestation, they have no place, nowhere to go. So when you travel on highways, you'll now see the monkeys sitting on the highways, both sides, to get some food. This is a very pathetic situation. And then the electrocution, then of course, people poison them, people dart them. A lot of things are happening. That is simultaneous. And of course, the gang wars within themselves because of because of the space issue. That always happens. So it is a very tragic situation right now.
Yeah, speaking about that kind of situations, before like another, I want to tell a simple past history. Like before 20 years, when I was traveling in bus, like okay, what one point of time when I was traveling to my hometown, that bus got some kind of problems and it stopped in the middle of the highway. And what to say, every passenger was loaded to a very different bus. And meanwhile, we were just waiting in that kind of highways where there used to be a lot of trees. like in the left and the right hand side, we saw a lot of monkeys, like more than 30 monkeys over there, and we just fed the monkeys with whatever food that we had. So it was a very good time over there. Like nowadays you can't see things like that. People, as you said, because of deforestation, there is no proper place for the monkeys to stay, and we are not able to see
Yeah,
a monkeys which is resting in a tree. It is like just wandering in the road, and wherever things like that, wherever the place it shouldn't be, it's actually existing over there.
exactly.
So that,
Exactly, exactly.
so that's the thing which I wanted to share with you, ma'am. Also, at the same time, people, if they want to know about the kind of animal welfare and conservation, how do you educate the public, ma'am? So there is a lot of animal welfares and kind of conservation activities over there. So what kind of message would you like to tell about the animals to the people, ma'am?
Well, people have to understand these days primarily. I don't know what is wrong with the educated lot in particular. Um, they fail to understand that animals are a part of ecosystem anyway. So if you try to eliminate them, the earth is going to end and you all are going to die. So if you see, primarily, it's a major concern. People, create ruckus. They beat up animals. They poison them. They would beat up nowadays the feeders also who are feeding them, which is a major issue because, see, feeding an animal is not giving any benefit to that person. It's just a soul satisfaction. But then it is helping the society end of the day because the animal is not getting aggressive because it's getting food on proper time. The animal is getting injected with the required vaccinations, which means it would not carry any diseases. Plus, dogs in particular, cats in particular, they remove a lot of pests animals who are not needed and who carry diseases. So people are not understanding that, and they need proper counseling and actually education.
So tell me, ma'am, do you also approach school and you make sure that children learn these kind of animal welfare and good activities from you? Or what are the things that you do so that the society will know about these kind of animal welfare things? How do you actually kind of educate the society, ma'am?
See, honestly, I will be very honest here. I do not go to schools because I've not had time at all. But then, yes, we have held sessions in many apartments and RWOs to let them know what are the laws of, keeping animals, what are the laws of the stray animals who are residing inside the premises before it was built, and educating them what could be done to make it better for the animals and for the humans, because it's a both way thing. Humans should not also face any issues, and the animals should also not face any issues.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. So what are the biggest challenges you face as an animal rescuer? So there must be a lot of memorable moments that you struggled being an animal rescuer. So tell us about it, ma'am.
A lot of them actually. When See, what happens is when you start rescuing, you don't have plans because these things are something which you're not doing it for money, so you don't plan. So it happened eventually, and then I started keeping animals at home. And then, the population of dogs increased to 40 in a 1,000 square feet house. And I had 18 cats then and 12 monkeys then. So it became a big problem, and the neighborhood created a huge ruckus. They would call police, day and night. They would mentally harass me, my family. So I decided to, sell off my jewelry and everything. And we found this land wherein we are living right now. But then, you can understand selling of jewelry means already zeroing out things. So I had no money to do anything more on the land. So I somehow, put in the net um, uh, barrages for the animals and made yards for them, in particular dogs. And then I had a cat cage, which I used for the cats. Certain monkeys I had, which I released in my area in open, who were like, who knew me, who would listen to me, and the ones who would not were in the cages. And I lived in a tin room, literally wherein I am right now. It's like I have 2 kilometers in radius, no humans, no road. It's complete pitch dark, wildlife around. You can hear hyenas and jackals howling. I had no electricity, I had no water. So this entire 1 year was really difficult because I had major challenges. I learned because what happens is, when we grow at houses in cities in particular, we have this habit of opening a tap. Oh, the water is coming. What happens is when you shift in a place like that, you don't have water like that. It's not that easy. So when you're thirsty, you have to, use a hand pump. And when it's very hot, it's like 45 degrees, 46 degrees here. So the hand pump actually burns. So I used to have blisters in my hands in that heat. So and what we used to do is we bought a cool gauge and we used to fill it up in the morning itself so that by afternoon we have some normal water to drink. And then we had good mango trees. Yeah, we used to spend days and nights under that, sleep there, only me and my son. So that was the most difficult phase. Complete 1 year was actually, women versus wild.
That's actually a really great inspiring story for me, because you have spoken this in the interview just like nothing has happened. But I can realize that okay, there is a lot of kind of struggles that you must have witnessed, because being raised up in a family, like okay, it's not like what to say, it's not from a lower middle class or a middle class or a rich family, anything like that. Right after like age, like in the 1980s, 1990s, people will be like okay, you go into a, like a kind of place, you just open the tap and you expect water to flow, and you're going, and
Yes.
if you come out of your home, you expect people to walk around in the street. But totally these two kind of scenarios are not existing. So once you have decided that you have to make your professional career in being an animal rescuer, you have shifted to a totally remote place. There is no any kind of water. Even if there is water, we should have some kind of blisters in our hands, because while pumping the water, because of the 45 degrees of heat over there in the hot summer, of course it's Lucknow, it's something of a place where we can expect some kind of sunny days over there. And also at the same time, we are not used to many humans over there, and of course there will be a lot of troubles over there because of the kind of wild animals. And also without any kind of proper human support, not only we are physically suffering, but we are also mentally suffering, because there will be a lot of traumas
There
that
are no humans around at all. There are no hospitals around. So I used to actually plan that what would happen if there is an emergency. The cab will come. That too, like you don't get a normal Uber here because it's a little far from the city. So we had fixed drivers, fixed cab walas whom I used to call to pick me up. So it would take 1 hour that guy to reach my place and then 1 hour again to reach to the city. So in an emergency, I had actually nothing. That was the most difficult part. And then, of course, it was very rural, women in particular living, and everybody knew in all different villages, everybody knew that I live here. So it was a little difficult. It was scarier when it was colder days and foggy days, you can't see a lot and it was all pitch dark. And when you hear people murmuring, you feel like, oh, I hope they're not getting inside. So a lot of things happen.
Yeah, I do understand that. I always think how you actually struggled and you maintain to stay in that place, because being a man is something different. Okay, he can adjust a little bit, but the thing is that being a woman and facing all these kind of struggles is something which is really needed to be appreciated, because you're a kind of strong woman. Not each and every people can do this kind of things. Even if they're a kind of animal lover, they will be finding some situations in which they can hand some kind of revenue to the other person, so that the third person can take care of the animals. But the thing is that you being an animal lover and rescuer, you just single-handedly just went into the place and you just handled all these kind of situations. That's a great thing. I really
If
appreciate.
that's actually, if you look into any animal shelter these days, 90% of the people make shelters in a different place and live there in their own house in their comfort. But then I had a different mindset. I wanted to keep a watch and stay with my babies when they are, wherever they are living, along with them, leaving my home, leaving my family, leaving my children, my mother, everything. I shifted here with them. So yeah, like I had to face a lot of difficulties. Not only these, like even from the family, of course, they object that we are also there. What are you doing? You shouldn't be shifting. You're abandoning us. So a lot of things happen simultaneously.
I do understand. It's not only typical Indian families. If you're even in the Western
Yeah,
countries, People used to say that, okay,
Yes.
why are you always concentrating on animals? Of course, you can concentrate on,
Animals, yes.
but we as a family are there in this home. Don't you have any kind of affection?
Exactly.
Don't you have any kind of care
Exactly.
after us? You're always looking after the animals. And why don't you find
Yes.
separate home, so away from the animal shelter? Of course, you can go in the morning and come during the night time, but something like that is
Yes.
totally unacceptable. So we are there for you, you're not there for us. So I do accept there is a lot of things over this. And of course,
Yes.
you stayed like, okay, you stayed like, okay, okay, like a steel. You didn't make up your mind totally, like, okay, you didn't even accept that whatever your families, your kind of good family circles has told you. Of course, they have kind of affectionate towards you. That's why they tell these kind of words. But the thing is that you told that you do have children, but you also consider animals as your own children. So we can't let our children
Yes.
go stay in some kind of place, and we make we may be okay. They will be like in a very safe place. We can't think like that. We'll all, even if you're like 1 hour late, like we used to come during to our home during night time at 9 o'clock, and even if you're like 1 hour late, we will be getting many missed calls like, are you safe, are you over there, like, are you just being alive or that? So in the same way that you treated, you have all animals that you have rescued, you have them in a special place in your heart. So that's why you have these kind of thinkings, okay, we should have a good care of the animals. So that's why you facing a lot of struggles over there. So I do understand these kind of things. That's a great thing. I really appreciate it, ma'am. So that's a kind of great example that you're a animal lover and also you're a good animal rescuer, ma'am. So in spite of facing all these kind of struggles, and you have told about a lot of kind of stories that made you go through a lot in your life. So there must be some kind of success stories which you also wanted to share to the people. So is there any kind of memorable things that you wanted to share about the good kind of positive things that you are doing right now being an animal rescuer, ma'am?
Honestly, success is any day when we see an animal recovering, any day a paralyzed dog walking, any day people appreciating, talking about us in a very good manner. So that is overall, I think that is what a progress is for me. These are all special days.
Yeah, I do accept, ma'am. So tell us, being a typical animal rescuer, starting from the morning to the night, what are the daily activities can we expect, and what are the daily activities that you do regularly being an
Video
animal rescuer?
first.
Is the video okay right now, ma'am?
It is on now. Yes, it's on now.
Okay, ma'am. So tell us, being an animal rescuer, so you must have repeating the same kind of activities each and every day. So what kind of activities can we expect from you being an animal rescuer right from the morning till the night, ma'am?
Okay, these days I'm handling two infant monkeys. One just turned 30 days yesterday. The other one is 2.5 months. So it actually, I don't know where to start my morning because I keep on getting up whole night because they have their feed times every 3 hours. So if I say morning, then yeah, 3 a.m. I have to get up and feed these two. Then at 6 a.m., I go to sleep, of course. Then I get up again at 6 a.m., feed them. And then, of course, I carry on with my routine. That is, have a coffee and then I go move out to the kitchen area of the animals. And then I start, cooking their meal along with my son. So right now, my son is also autistic. So I'm teaching him to cook food. So these days, it's him who has taken all the responsibility of cooking meal for the dogs and monkeys. So, and then the first thing we do in the morning is at 7 o'clock, the monkeys get their first meal, which is bananas, and the paralyzed and small pups and the weaker old dogs and sick dogs get their dog food. Cats get very hungry early morning, so they get their food. This is all we start with our, day. And then it goes on, with the helpers, we call them, we have to instruct them. This is the cleaning. And then we have a lot of construction work going on whole day, like from about more than a month now. So we have to keep on, staying out in this hot and sun and, keep on watching what they're doing, instructing them what next. We are preparing a lot of new yards, making new amendments to the shelter, so we have to keep a watch there. By then, it's the treatment time. We take out the sick animals. In between, every 2 3 hours, we have the monkey babies to be fed. So that constantly goes on. Then by about 3:34, we feed the dogs, and the monkeys get their final meals. In between, they get 2 3 meals more. Monkeys get 4 meals a day. So by about 5 o'clock in summers, we get off with the work, and then we come back like into my room now, and I have a pakka room now. So yeah, we get back here, and then we start with our own food, cooking food and all those family routines. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it's true. I understand really. It's very hectic for you. Waking up in the middle of the night, like around 3 a.m. in order to feed, that's a kind of thing which is really struggling for us. I do accept it. So, how do you actually balance between your family and the kind of animal rescue works, and how do you handle the kind of emotions with the humans and also the animals? So, tell us about it, man.
I don't know if I can handle or not because I prioritize my animals. So yeah, I honestly do not get time to give it to my family. It's very seldom. So I call my mother and daughter here. My husband comes here. So it's that way. Um, Emotionally, I am a very sensitive person, extremely sensitive person. Like when I am upset, I stop talking to people. I get, very numb. I would want my own space, and I just like to keep distant. So emotionally, not only from the family point of views, from other challenges we have running the shelter, losing a life, anxiety if your any loved animal is sick or recovering, all those things all together. So I'm still coping up uh, with the emotional balance, I would say.
Yeah, fine. That's great. Once again, I do had an opportunity to talk with you because since you told that you make yourself shut down if you wanted to, if there is any kind of anger inside you, I do understand it, ma'am. Because all kind of good hearts, when they're just getting hurted, they just shut down themselves and they just go into a kind of silent sleep mode. I do understand it, ma'am. So also, if there is any kind of tips that you wanted to tell to your juniors who also wanted to be a successful animal rescuer, and if they wanted to start a sanctuary like you, so what are the kind of things, what are the kind of tips that you wanted to tell to the people regarding being an animal rescuer, ma'am?
People who are working for animals already are doing a fabulous job. One thing I have noticed, especially since COVID and since social media is more active on animal welfare, people report more than acting. Even the activists or even the feeders, they prefer reporting it to other people. And people like us, or people who run shelters already, are already loaded with a lot of stuffs, a lot of animals, and our own cases and our own pending bills. And we can't cover all animals even if we want to. We cannot keep on doing everything even if we want to. So our hands are already so full. So instead of reporting, they should act. There are many diseases, many problems, like a simple maggot wound. It can be treated on spot. All they have to do is just, mix the medicine and food and feed it. That's all. So there are certain ownerships with which, they should start taking in. They should start taking stand for the animals, because what happens is when it's a new trend, as I was discussing before, that people now hate animals. They don't want them to be around. So mostly feeders in particular face this issue because the other person is objecting and fighting with you. It could be your neighbor also. So the next decision these feeders taken is that they would speak to a shelter and ask them to take the healthy animal in, which is not making any sense. It's you who needs to take the stand. It's not the animal who needs to be moved from their place, because the animal is absolutely all right. The animal is neither aggressive nor sick, nor blind, nor handicapped. So it's you who needs to work on. So these things are primarily what they need to work on, because this is the first step, I would say, to work for animals. Opening a sanctuary, I would say, it's a very big thing. It needs a lot of compromises, especially with young people who are not even certain of their future. Like I have worked in Gurgaon for various years, and then I shifted back and decided, and I had a working hand already, which was my husband. So it came after that, after my work period, and the youngsters are still settling down with their financial needs, with their basic needs. So opening a sanctuary comes up with a lot of responsibility, not only financially, also in all terms, in family terms. So when you're not sure, you don't have a spouse, you're not married, you don't have a girlfriend, things are not settled yet. So I would say rather join one and learn maybe and volunteer so that you learn a lot of things, and then in future when you settle down with things and you think you can now give time, then you should start with these things. Otherwise, the basic steps what they need to do is to.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. So other than that, what is your future ventures? What is your future aim that you are planning to do in the case of animal rescuer kind of things? And what is the kind of message? This is the last question, ma'am. What is the kind of message would you like to tell to the people who are watching this interview right now? It may be the message to the kids or the middle-aged person or the teenage person or maybe the old person. What kind of message would you like to pass to the world? Like it may be of any genre. So tell us about it now.
About my future plans is obviously enhancing the sanctuary more, attracting people towards it, making it understand so that people meet animals and understand, and see them what actually they go through. And I do have a little plan for opening up a little tiny little hospital too for the animals here. And my message for people who are watching this interview is that, like humans, animals also are a living being. So they do have emotions, they do have age, they do have diseases, they do have basic needs like any humans. They do need food, shelter, they do feel cold, they do feel hot. So, and dogs in particular are there more like human toddlers up to 2 3 years old, in comparison to their brain. So it's humans who are way far advanced and way more mature to understand them, and it's only us humans who can make the difference. So I can understand not everybody is an animal lover, but then you can always understand and empathize with an animal and have a humanitarian ground and be a human and let others do what they are doing, like let other animal lovers do on their part. If you're not able to help them, that is also fine. Don't disturb the society. The little things what they can do, in summers, keep water bowls on your terrace, rice or food, for the babies, for the birds on terrace, squirrels, so that they can come and eat. These are little, very tiny bits. Don't waste water, plant more trees, plant more plants, very basic things anybody can do.
I do understand that being a human and doing these kind of very small things can actually bring a lot of great impact to the animal society. So feeding birds by just keeping small water in front of our home, in the balcony, and wherever we are finding kind of stray dogs, stray animals, feeding them is kind of small things, but it matters a lot to the animals. And whenever we are seeing any kind of,
Exactly. It's very tiny bit. Just keeping a water bowl is very tiny bit. It does not need a lot of money. It does not need anything. Just a little care, but it would save so many lives.
yeah, that's a great thing, ma'am, because a lot of people are just concentrating on the kind of work that they're doing. They don't find enough time, and they're not mainly the basis that the very simple message which you didn't tell, but you expressed it by the kind of work that you're doing is very well evident.
Exactly.
Which I wanted to say is that you said that you can't make your home away from the animal sanctuary. You always wanted your home to be very near, to be present very near to the animal sanctuary, so that you can make sure that okay, you take care of the
In the
animals.
animal sanctuary.
Yeah, yeah, even in the animal
It's
sanctuary.
in within the sanctuary.
Yeah, you wanted your home to be very inside the animal sanctuary. This is because it's very evident that you always wanted to take care of the animals. That the basic
Yes.
thing is that you are in the frequency and you are able to understand the pain of animals. So that's the basic reason why you are residing in the animal sanctuary. So like this, if each and every person in this world, if they are able to match with the frequency of the animals, and if they are able to understand the emotions of each and every animal, if they are able to understand the kind of pain that every animal face in this kind of society and in the wildlife, they will not be doing any kind of things. Only reason is that people do not understand the pain behind every street dogs
Yeah,
that go out of hunger and out of many difficulties that they're facing. They're just walking each and every
exactly.
are totally focused on the kind of studies, the work, the kind of commitments, and they just, of course, they adopt dogs. But the thing is that they adopt dogs only the kind of breed that they like, only the kind of
Yeah,
dogs
yeah.
that will be
Specific, sure.
only the kind of dogs that they want themselves in the house to protect them. So these are the things
Yeah,
that we can actually change. And if even on the other message you told that even if we are not able to contribute much to the society, we should not disturb others who are just contributing much to the society. So
exactly.
that's a kind of good great message from you, ma'am. So once again, thank you for coming and joining this interview. So people who are watching this,
Thank you, Krishna.
thank you, ma'am. So people who are watching this interview right now, please do subscribe and please do click on the bell icon so that you can receive notifications whenever I do post new videos regarding new women entrepreneurs and new working women across different cities in India and also across the world. So if you have any kind of doubts, please do comment in the comment section. If you want to if you want to help any kind of animals, our animal rescuer, ma'am, is over there in Lucknow. Vishakha Chatterjee, ma'am, is happy to help you out. I'll just mention her Instagram link down in the YouTube description. You can just have a chat with her if you wanted to become a successful animal rescuer. So that's the thing. So thank you for everything, for allowing me to host this wonderful interview, ma'am. So good evening, have a
Thank
nice
you.
day. So that's it, ma'am.
You too, Krishna. Thank you. Bye
Thank you
bye.
for everything.